4&D, we're under new management. So we're under new management, and I'll be banning everybody and getting full attitude for free. Good morning, guys. Good morning for Noi. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So it's not really clickbait. No more clickbait than the rest of them. So we thought we would throw this out here. I had already mentioned a few days ago, and we went into a muted chat about whether to say anything or not to. But we had already decided a while back that we were going to slow down through the holiday and that we were going to do less and less. What you guys do not know is George has had. Oh, I'm gonna leave that down there. The balls fell on the floor. There's little cat toys. That George has had another job for quite some time. So actually, not only does he have another channel, and we've told you guys that, which he had mentioned at Google that he has a gaming channel. And so between the gaming channel and he does do animation for another company, you guys know he's an artist. His time is becoming more and more unavailable, and the channel is actually his. I still do it and help and do things, but we will be coming down to a few live streams, some videos, and so he is not here. So the big changes is that we'll be putting not as many live streams. So we've been doing a couple. So, anyways, he is actually at an en route to a funeral. His uncle passed away, not the same one that he went and visited. I believe it was in November, but there was a actual. Let me put it up here. This is George this morning. Notice I blurred out his family's face for the purpose of George is super private. I'm an open book, but we don't go showing other family members and doing that. Although it is what it is. So I choose not to attend these functions for multiple reasons. If you guys have been to a Filipino funeral, and it's not because his family is a little different, but they're not going to sit around for days drinking like some of the funerals I've been to. So I'm not. He's traveling for a couple hours this morning, and I just don't have it in me to do it. So this is a funeral that he will attend on his own. So it's a second one in 60 days. Previous to that is, I forgot what they would call that. So it's his daughter's husband's dad had passed away. And so he attended that one. And that was like, that was another one. So he's attending a funeral and he'll be back later today. But our time, we've been spending more together, and also he's been working. So we've discussed that the YouTube channel can consume some of our time, and it's, it's semi on. I keep wanting to pull down the other mic. I'm using his side of the mic today. So this is not a total goodbye. It just may mean that you'll see me and then see us out together, lunch and doing things. But it will not be 3-4 live streams a week and all of that. So we've always stuck with, if you guys message us or messenger, we've done video chats, we've helped people. It was always about helping the people. It was never about the $200 or $300 that we make a month from this, and that's literally all the income is. It was just consuming too much of our time to keep producing. Even the live streams take a while. Like I've been working all morning gathering information, about the news events going on and putting together clips and reading through news. And you guys are well worth it, and we appreciate you guys over the years. This is not a goodbye. So, but I just wanted to put that out there. And he'll be back. So, but I will go through the comments and then go through the news and kind of just answer questions. Today, I will be discussing the discussion on the table is just that, a discussion. Elliott Eastman may come up. We'll be talking about the Kenalon eruption and what's been going on with that. It is Friday the 13th here. Let's hope George stays safe on that trip. We will probably get into, as I said, the Geo and Maya breakup. So usually on Saturdays we do a wrap up. So there is definitely a breakup. The last video, I've been reported to several times that they had officially broke up, and her content is not particularly my taste of watching vlogs. Has nothing to do with nothing. It's just the way she does it. Very, very typical of some of the Filipino channels. And so it's not for me. I'm not a simp. I'm not somebody just looking to, like when she went to the waterfall for a 3-minute video. Not interested. Sorry. It's just not for me. But I do know that she talked about her and her daughter. Maybe we'll get into a topic of conversation in regards to dating single mothers, because Geo was all about dating women and, the single life and all of this. And then all of a sudden he marries a single mother with a child. And then the relationship, the marriage lasted, about a year. And so I could only imagine living with Geo. So I can just see that, he seems to be pretty stern on stuff. And it probably didn't work for several reasons. I don't know. Maybe you guys can fill me in on this. Again, the annual report is due in the next 60 days. It's the first 60 days of the month. So in other words, it's up and coming. And then it's the first 60 days of the month. I have a little bit of information, can answer questions. And we will talk about a ongoing problem with surrogacy. So I'm kind of spilling the beans on everything today. So good morning, Bruce. MB is in the house. Ted, of course, our moderator, is in the house. Hello, beautiful people. Maybe. George found a brand new Muslim wife in Cebuco. Some people speculate that he's opening a sorry store. Hopefully he will not swim with the fishes. I don't know. It's hard to get a hold of George now. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's like a spider monkey, so you can just forget about that. You can't do nothing with George. I don't know. He probably swam across that water before they even caught him. So, although with age, he's kind of slowing down and taking more naps. And I took that photo of him the other day in his robe. I think we put that to members. And right after the live, he passed out. And I'm like, dude, you just got up and you're taking a nap. So I don't know. He might be slowing down in his age, guys. So it's very well possible. So let's see what's. It's sad if it's true. I don't know. If he keeps up his attitude, it might be true. Believe me, it's not easy living with George. Oh God. Somebody left a message the other day and they're like, gee, you keep cutting George off during his translation. It's like, sometimes he's just slow. It's like, okay. Or it's an over explanation. And it's like me, I'm like hyperactive. I got to get straight to it most of the time. So I can't help it. Plus, it was a reaction video. I don't care. I was laughing, talking. And so it's just somebody out there that's butthurt. But sad if true, no, we are still together. We are still married. This is not a Geo and Maya situation. Till death do you part comes to a whole new meaning and takes on a whole new meaning when it comes with me and George. We've both been married multiple times. It's just now that our channel is just going in different directions. We've taken on multiple channels, okay? And Philippine Antics is not exactly, it's a great channel. and everything is fine. Our problem is we've taken on a sound channel that we're trying to do like the audio sounds for relaxation because that's more popular. It's something that I enjoy and that he enjoys making music. We have been working with music, and we have the pet channel that we've hardly even touched. So there are people with like 10 different channels. And the other day I seen where somebody was talking about Mike MYK's channel and how it was dissolved based on him, which I now believe had happened. But there was a whole topic of conversation that he runs multiple channels, and that we are aware of. We know that he's doing one of those voiceovers. There's 3 or 4 of them out there, and that he's actually successful at these other ones. Not that he wasn't successful on his channel, but it's the same with us. Philippine Antics, um, we're not a simping channel. We don't give out the full dating advice. We don't sit around and use our woman on the camera. Not going to sit there and use her as a thirst trap. It's never been about that. It's been about us being real, keeping it real, me just saying what I want. You guys have seen me storm off. You've seen George say things, and he gets mad. It's just what it is. So either people like us or they don't like us. And right now, it's we told you, you don't rely on it for money as people think that we do, and you don't actually you do it for fun. And it's fun, but George is taking on other projects. I'm working more by spending time with the animals and doing my music. So basically, we're just taking it easy and having fun. We're doing us time, and that's understandable. So anyways, where we at? Smile and be happy if I didn't put that up. Hey, hey, hey. Thumbs up, guys, and be sure to like and subscribe. Hi, guys, from Melbourne, Australia. Hope you're all happy and in good health. Yeah, and that's another thing about the Phil Health situation. I just seen where Phil Health cut off all the There it is. He told me that what happened. We have a new mouse, so there it is. Operator error. I've only done these live streams by myself a few times. The new mouse has one, two, three, four, five, literally 6 buttons on it, and there's one on the side. And he said if you hit it, it closes out the screen. So I got to be more careful. Sorry, guys. Let's see, Max. And start up a 5'6" business. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he knows better than that. Maybe 5'6" business. That's what that looks like. Um, always late. Yeah, we're gonna let that one ride. Second wind. Hello. Here's the thing. I don't know. Second wind. I have to ask. Is that you? Because we supposedly had people copying people's accounts the other day. So, but he is calling you guys by name, but that doesn't. No, it is the 14th in the Philippines. So yes, you're right. It's Friday the 13th in the United States. So you're right. I guess it still doesn't count. So you got that right, but it is still Friday the 13th for a lot of the people watching. Most of our people are from the US. So that's what I mean. It's still Friday the 13th somewhere there for an ID. Hey, vlogging life. Hello, how are you? Yeah, it's still Friday 13th. Big Dave, Geo is a simp. I've watched his channel on and off, and I've heard him tell stories about how he gave out, like when he breaks up with a girlfriend, he helps her out for 6 months and all that. And I'm like, my husbands didn't even do that when I broke up. So it's like, and it had nothing to do with, they're the ones that were some of the problems. And I still didn't get 6 months worth of rent and things like that. It's like, I've always taken care of things. So I've always had to work. I've always had to cook, clean, and do all these things. Nobody, it's like I worked alongside my husband's and took care of business. And so, and the same with George. But no, he was pushing out information about dating forever, and it just shocked the world when he actually married her. Now they're broke up. So I don't know. There are people that watch him, or now that he's breaking up, they're going to try to, I call it psychoanalyze his channel or go through or figure out what went wrong. But the fact that he's been traveling all of a sudden by himself, but I don't know. I didn't watch it before that. So, yeah. Oh, and we got the kitty back okay yesterday. One of the cats got fixed yesterday. So, we only have the three cats now, and it would be Tweety. It's the one that's blind. And so Tweety, it's weird. They fixed her on the side, not flat on her stomach. Our other cat that we had fixed here at the house, it cost us about 5 or 6 thousand pesos. They split her wide open, like there was a big cut and everything. The one that we had done here in Mabalake, where they do a spay and neuter program that's inexpensive, there's just a small cut on her side. So, because I spent an hour sewing up her cat suit. There's like a surgical suit for the cat, and I measured her, and it said that she was a medium. When the suit came, it was way too big. So I took a big gap out of it, sewed it. It didn't work. I had to sew it again. And George is like, it's time to go. And I'm like, take it easy. I've been working on this for an hour or so. I said, I'm trying to get her cat, but she doesn't need it because she can't reach it. It's somehow up at her side. So, well, she could if she probably wanted to. So I got to give her antibiotics. So sounds like Maya wants wants to go to the US and Geo doesn't want to take her back home. Right. And I know a little bit about Geo. I mean, I was going to do a full thing on him. I'm sure other people will. But as I'm to understand, something went south with his previous marriage. I know other channels showed photos of his wedding and that he had kids, and there were rumors of child support. I don't know. I'm just saying what was out there. But no, there's no way he was going to take her back to the US. It's too expensive. And in the beginning, the only thing he talked about was his income was online teaching. And now he's probably making so money at YouTube with his numbers. My guess is under 1500, unless he's getting a lot of extra money through PayPal and stickers and all that we don't see. So I don't know if he'd go back and get a job. And understand, Maya may not have the ability to make it back to the US or back. She won't be able unless she's already got over her passport and can actually get the paperwork. It takes a lot of money, a lot of processing, time, and she's got to, prove different things just to get out of the country. So it's there's a lot to that. Maybe. I thought I had to show you guys like proof of life and everything. They're gonna make me upload that video file again. So there he is. There's your proof of life. So and so you're going to be seeing my face. I'll probably be putting out like I used to some of my expat help videos and get back to our roots. Um, and then you guys will see more of the like when we do natural things, like when we go out to eat or like everyday life here. So I've been wanting to go down to the market. You guys might that we have a market that's like right here in the area, so I might like get more of that stuff. We just don't carry a camera on us anymore. So we went from a constant vlogging. We vlogged in the daytime, we edited all night, and we released a video every day. Then we were doing live streams several times a week, and we burned ourselves out. We both were burned out. And it was like, it was too much. And now, after we went to the YouTube creator thing and we listened to the guy from Feature and a couple big ones that have like millions of views, they said you just take it easy because the most important thing right now is me and George. And so it's like I know we had already slowed down, but now we're really enjoying life. I'm adjusting to the Philippines. I still want to stay with the people. He still wants to We love Philippine Antics, and it's not going anywhere. Just probably the next month or so, we're going to enjoy the holiday. We have a lot planned. So let's see. So we did mention George falling down the steps. Could be. So I digress. No. Nice try, Mike. Good to see you back, Mike. But no, that's not the same people. It is not. So nice try. Yes, he's wearing the same shirt because George only owns a bunch of those T-shirts, and George is a different size than he was in the US. So he has repurchased clothes here. So, no, nice try. Not the same, and I have no reason to make you guys believe otherwise. So, nice try though. But you guys will make up your own mind over time anyway, so I'm going to say the Maya thing. Let your guys' stinky thinking run all over town. Whatever. That's on you there, Mike. You guys make a good team. When there are two of you in the streams more dynamic, well, maybe. So, and there will be, and he's not here, and so here I am, and there it is. Okay, it is second win. Well, enjoy the holidays and happy New Year's. Thank you. I only use 3 accounts on Facebook, but YouTube, I am second win for now until I get my Scooby Doo YouTube going. Sweet. Okay, you just came in like 2 minutes ago, Gary. I'm going through the news, and basically, George is at a funeral. I'm not going to a funeral, not this funeral, that's for sure. And I'm not going to spend hours on the road. I'm not familiar enough with this family, and there's multiple reasons I won't. Also, I'm letting you guys know, and he will let you know that he's been working. Okay, it's been assumed that YouTube and my disability was the only income, which it's not. George has got other incomes. He also has multiple YouTube channels. We've said that before, and so um, his gaming channel. Also, he's been an animator before. He's been doing animation for a company for a while. So he's actually doing his art as he's been doing, and that we will not be doing 3 and 4 live streams a week. So I'm not sure what the plan is, but I know right now he's squeezing the time out, and the same with me. I run a household, I deal with animals, and then our us time, we're trying to carve more of that out. So probably up to Christmas, there'll be a couple more live streams. You're going to see videos, and we're going to go back to our original formula. We used to do a lot more expat help video, but now that there's 101 million vloggers now in the Philippines and everybody's rehashing expat help videos, we have a line of expat help videos. That's what the thousands of videos we have already. And so I'm doing the live stream because George is on his way to a funeral. So, hey, Victor, I wish he'd have took that dog with him. That's what I actually wish. So, good morning, Sarah. How are you? All right. Well, let's see where we're going to go with this, being we're all out of comments. So, basically, we'll run the next few stories that we have in here because I figured that, without any comments, we're kind of is where we're at on this. Okay, guys. So the first story that we're going to start with is the eruption of Kenalon, I believe they call it. As of yesterday, there were 13 spews of ashes everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to show you some photos here in a little bit, and they have declared a state of calamity. For those that don't know, George was still in the Philippines as of Mount Pinatubo, and the same thing that you're seeing here, but times 100. and all the shoveling of the ashes off the house. It was really bad. I just watched some photos. After seeing all this happen, I went back and looked at some videos, and it was very sad what happened back then. And there's a lot of people being affected. I could be off on the numbers of how many. It's probably around 12,000. So I think they had said it was around that number. So let's see if I can get some numbers of what's going on. I watched Sunshine Shoulders, and I haven't even checked to see what area, if he's even near that or not. Kenalon volcano spewed 13 times on Thursday as as the area remains under an alert level 3. The spewing incidents each lasted about 2 minutes, up to an hour, and 18 minutes during the monitoring period. So the volcano also produced a 100-meter high plume. The sulfur dioxide emissions on Thursday averaged 3,999 tons a day. 7 earthquakes were monitored. Yeah. It says the hazards are the explosive eruptions, the lava flow, ashfall, and rockfall, lahar during heavy rains. It says, yeah, so it was almost, this one saying 11,791 families, and the other one said 12,000 something. So we always know it's somewhere in between, but it says it's close to 41,000 people are affected. So they did determine the state. Uh, yeah, I'm not discounting what happened, but Pinatubo was crazy. But this is really affecting people. It'll make them sick and everything. Yeah, it's really going to affect people. All right. I see where Tess is announced. Hi. I'll get to that here in a minute. Okay. Next up on the news is we've been covering this on and off. The BI stopped another illegal surrogacy attempt to Georgia. This has been happening. This seems to be the latest thing, not totally new, but it's become more prominent and way cheaper to get the women from the Philippines and bring them in as carriers of the baby. And now I'm kind of doubting the story that was put through the BI as far as the amount. They said the 2 victims were heading to Georgia. It says their monthly salary was 700,000 pesos. So that's 12,000 a month. So even at 6,000 each, that is still high to be given that much money, even in the US. Usually the surrogacy or when people carry the babies, I looked it up and knew somebody that did that. I think was somewhere around 15, 20, 30,000 as a final payment. They help with some medical bills, gave you some food money, but they didn't go fully through and pay everything unless you hit the jackpot. And so that seemed a little high knowing about what it was in the US, but maybe they meant total, like in paying them both. But this has become an increased situation for sure. Okay, and I will get to the annual report. All right, so there is the annual report. Okay, all registered aliens within the first 60 days must do the annual report. And starting last year, it used to be, and some people still do this. They go online, they go in and do it like a pre-registration to go into the office. It is available here in Angeles. Not all locations I'm aware of you can do it, but starting last year officially, you could actually do it online, but you still have to go on and pre-register. Now, according to them, the only ones that aren't required are the tourist ones, and I believe they said like the visitors, because they do hand out ACRI cards after 60 days. When here's something strange. When I attempted to do that, my first year here was on a Billig buy-in. Then I just kept renewing as a tourist, and now I have a 13A. Okay. When I was as a tourist and during the Billig buy-in, it wasn't required. But somehow, and I've shown you guys proof, you guys can go look at the videos. I was charged for the annual report. I can show it from last year. I'll have to find it, but it is in the videos. And I put it up. I said, see, they charged me for it. It was really confusing, but yet they claimed I didn't need to do it. So they added it into the fees at the first of the year. So I don't, it could just be the office at Angel City. I've heard so many things about being overcharged there. And so there was just a guy I heard that was at Angeles City that he needed to transfer his stuff into his passport. The woman said she couldn't do it, but then she said she could accept it for money. And he was stuck between a rock and a hard place on that situation. And it's like, you got to watch what you guys do here. But yeah, they'll fix anything for a certain amount. But on the annual report, also confusing, the people that are on a retiree visa, the SRRB, there is an annual report required. You're also required to pay the 360 US dollars a year to actually as a renewal fee. And yes, I double checked. They're saying that it is required for them too. And then of course 13A. So the annual reports will be required. So it's just a update that you guys really need to consider it. This just goes through talking about who you do need to go through online and set up anything, the virtual. And there is the exchange rate for today for those that are actually interested. Looks like it's popping back. So that means as of right now, that put about 580 pesos in my bank. Until George is falling down the stairs, actually check pays off for those that have actually been counting. But yeah. Yeah, I seen someone the other day that constantly puts up the exchange rate. Actually, a few of them do, and we've done it on the occasion, but here lately it stays the same and everything. So, um, uh, I should be featured on Mayor TV YouTube maybe at the end of this month or early next month. Oh, that's cool. Yes, level 3 volcano. Yeah. Hi. You want to come here? Say hi? Yeah, people were asking about you the last time. Come here, stinky bug. Yay. Hey. Want to say hi? No, I know you always wanted to do that, huh? Yeah, you've been a good girl. Huh? You just woke up from your nap. Yeah. You know you don't have a daddy no more, right? I'll get you a new Timby. Yeah. I'll get you a new daddy, okay? You don't have a daddy no more. Yeah. Yeah. Attention all daddies. I'm looking for a doggy daddy. Yeah. Aw. What if I take the shirt off, you'll freeze? It is the truth, isn't it? Huh? It is the truth, isn't it? Huh? What do you got to say today? Yeah. At least you don't mess with the Christmas tree like the kitties do. Yeah. 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 What, Mary? This is the Christmas puppy. For those that don't know, that George got me for Christmas. She's I guess a shih tzu, but a mini, or I don't know. She's not going to grow. I would think she would, but we've had her now for a month and a half. She's only getting fatter, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. But you're not going to face the camera and say hi? Huh? Yeah. You got your hairdo? Got all done? Yeah. Hi. Hi, Mary. So we named her Mary, Merry, because we got her in December. So that gives us 48 cats and 9 dogs. I figured everybody else had one of these. Everybody seems to have one. Even the I've seen some broke Filipinos actually with these dogs. And yeah, so yeah, hi. I'll put you down. You was napping, but you got up, so that's why I brought you over. Oh, you a good girl? Oh, is it still nap time? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. You go down and play, Mary. She's pretty good. She's pretty independent. We got her little dog cage and everything, and so really interesting. And hi, Thera. Good morning. Gio and Maya are milking their separation. They may be trying out a temporary breakup and clicks. Well, that kind of inspired me to actually put this on the channel as my Filipino husband left. Technically, yes. So, because I notice everybody that there's even some that never really even break up in their entire videos on both sides because they have a just her channel and just him channel, and then they both appear on each other's channels. This is very rampant out there with the expats, and it's I notice they use that a lot to whether it's fighting or not. Like me and George, we're either going to fight or we're not. And we're going to do it on air, and you guys are going to know. Believe me, if there's a breakup, we're just going to actually outright say it. There's nothing to gain by not saying it. So that's for sure. But I would believe that because it does seem to be that way. Georgia, that's some taken modus. The countries are well known for. Oh, so you're saying it's the country, not the state of Georgia? Okay, well, okay, so then that's somewhere. If you're talking about Georgia, is that not? Isn't that near Russia or something? I don't have George here to nerd me out. So, and even then, like he says, so that's still expensive. It doesn't matter. It there's no way they're paying him 12,000 a month. Yeah. Okay, so I thought it was. I guess that's because I'm from. No, I guess not. I'm way off. That's somewhere in Europe. It's somewhere near the Ukraine, Turkey, Syria, surrounded by Kazakhstan. So I don't know exactly. Okay. So I learned something. Yes, the annual report is coming up. So, and guys, you can ask any questions. I mean, it's still open within reason to actually ask, comment, or if you can actually answer. What's crazy is some Filipinos get a hold of uranium and sells it on the black market. Speaking of which, you're right. That did come up. And that was, I seen that story. Let me bring that in. And I think they were even trying to say they didn't know what they were going to. There it is. And the Philippine News Agency, the NBI recovered 100 kilos, and this isn't like shabu or something. It's 100 kilos of depleted uranium. So I don't know, guys. I'm not going to pretend I'm some sort of rocket scientist. George would answer what it means by depleted uranium. They seized 100 kilos of radioactive uranium, and they arrested two people. The recovery of 20 kilograms of metal bars and 3 kilograms of black powder, all with uranium. A third suspect has been nabbed in Cagayan de Oro a few days later with more. They are investigating it. The uranium poses a serious threat to national security. No crap, man. I can't even believe they put that in there. It could be used as a source for like you said, a you know, I don't know if I can actually say that word, but they're going to use it as a. They're saying nuclear bomb. The first story I seen the other day didn't mention that's what they said, that they did not announce it at that point. They just said it was seized. Like when the stories first come out, but now it's actually saying that. So yeah, Maya's into huskies. Doesn't like the Italian salamis. I don't know. I just can't imagine. I mean, I can because this is my imagination that possibly she played cutesy the whole time and thought she could continue to use cutesy, and he's not going to be manipulated by a cutesy. And more than likely, it was just a matter of time before his true colors that caused his other divorce or his marriage to fail previously that had him come to the Philippines. Who knows? It just seems to be in some of the things that he does. So I just could only imagine. Philippines doesn't look to have a great future. Poverty is sky high. The food prices are up. Crime will be higher and higher and might end up like South Africa. We were talking about that the other day. I still feel safety wise that with the things that I know that go on in the US, it's really bad. Just people are turning a blind eye to what's going on in the US. I still would still at this point take the Philippines over the United States as far as some of the things going on, especially with the change of hand of government. Has nothing to do with him personally. It's just about the lineup that he's getting ready to do. So, AKA, he plans to go through and get rid of the undocumented people, and he's going to reenact a law, what was it, from the 1800s or something, to go through and just start getting rid of people. But there are other groups that are forming right now, like the good old days where they wear capes over their head situation, and they're just going to go around and help them gather these people up. And I just think there's going to be so many problems. I understand it's a problem. They've already been let in. They didn't do the legal process. I think it's the wrong way to go about it. I do believe people should be paying. We discussed this. They should uh, properly applied, paid their dues and all that. But now that they're there and the previous government let them in, it just seems kind of wrong to me. But I think that that's still going to cause some issues, and I think it is part of the beginning of the end situation where I and the people that he's bringing into the cabinet, and it's the politics and the things that are going on there. So I digress. Back to the Philippines. Yes, that is my first. We've been here now for over 4.5 years, and I'm literally just during the last probably 7 months to a year getting used to the Philippines, but it's going to take some adjustment. And yes, things are getting more expensive because there was somebody looking for a house the other day for 15,000 pesos. And the whole Facebook forum group of expats said, "Oh, don't be cheap. You're going to get what you pay for, and don't be cheap about it. And you're going to live with the people that you're paying, and around that amount." And it's like, hold up, 15,000. You guys got to understand how the average Filipino lives here. Has nothing to do with what rich friends you hang out with or the type of Filipinos. No, a big percentage of the country is broke. The top percentage that has money are the ones that we keep seeing at the resorts and fills the malls and everything. It seems like a lot to me, but I want to say it's around 70%. I mean, if been reading through things, and 15,000 is an entire salary for somebody here. And so to pay out your entire month's salary in rent, no, you're right. During the last few years since the pandemic, especially, they've raised rents. And so I seen a 15,000 peso place. It was not nice. I mean, not even close. The neighborhood, the house, everything was crap. So if you want something decent, they want you to pay. You're looking at 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, and they just announced in the news that the market's about ready to crash on condos, man. Or, like the real estate market. I want to find that story again. I couldn't believe it. It blew my mind. They said where it takes 12 months to sell a condo is now going to take 36 months. That there's a mass amount of condos going on in the Metro Manila area and other places. And now they're continuing to buy. And I'm like, first off, who can even afford that? There is not that many expats here, guys. There just isn't. And I understand that Filipinos are like making their way and getting jobs online and becoming social media and doing all these other things to make online income, but it's not changing anything else. And the lack of jobs, the increase on like fresh produce and food is unreal. I was telling you guys that I seen where uh, there was a store for foie gras, and they wanted 10,000 pesos for a small ham, small turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and two pies. And we're not talking about gigantic pies. We're just talking about two Filipino size pies for 10,000 pesos. It's okay as an expat if I don't want to cook and I want to put in, 200 US dollars. But even for me, I've adjusted Filipino thoughts. Just because I'm an expat doesn't mean that I have to pay and that Christmas dinner was in this area. It's just the prices are going up and up and up. So, and we have the highest electricity here, but other things can be cheap here. And so it's still cheaper than the United States. Things are still a fraction of the cost. But it's no, they're spiraling right now. They supposedly Philippines is like all the other Asian countries are actually, you know, they're cleaning their infrastructure, bringing in tourism, and the Philippines didn't meet their projections. So only safe place are the subdivision until it's not right. And even then, people are getting in the subdivisions. You can't stop everybody. And them guards make less than 500 pesos a day. If they get a special tip and food brought to them, they just wave people through. So I was told I couldn't get into a subdivision, did exactly that, went right through with the grab and everything. They just let me on through. So it is what it is. What's known about Maya? Yeah, just repeated that, Gary. So that's what I'm asking people. What do we know is that he married a single mother and with a child, and it seems so unlikely for the type of dating he's been talking about and advice he's given. And all of a sudden, I think it was all a social media thing, and he got, caught up in the banana, and it must have been that freaking special. And then he just realized it is what it is. And now she's got her own place. And so here's the thing, they could be doing this for just for the YouTube, and they're taking a break from each other. Now we just covered the Armstrong separation, divorce, and her same thing. So basically, he stopped producing anything, and now she's been doing a channel, and she's still capitalizing. I think all of a sudden she stopped though. Like if you looked at her videos up to the last few, it was all about the breakup, and she used that for a while, and they have been broke up for a while. So it'll probably be the same here. There's definitely no surprise on that. So my time last year, I didn't have to do a report, but paid because I was there at the BI dealing with technical stuff. Was at BI, so they used it to confirm my stats. Okay, so that had to be because every time I've gone in, I've seen it on my report during that time. So that doesn't make any sense though. I get it, and we weren't required, and I was still on the ACR as a tourist, but they added the fees in, just like they refused to process normal at the Angel City office, and they add the extra $20 for fast processing. And I had talked to some people, and other people challenged that amount because that was not always meant to be on there. And supposedly you can ask for it to be off, but then you get an argument from the people, and it's like, yeah, you don't want to mess with immigration. So I only asked once about it and never asked again because I'm not going to mess with them. So have to keep it smooth there, man. Is a simulation to get clicks. Well, she had no channel when she met him, and now all of a sudden she went from a few thousand up to where is she now? I don't. Does anybody know? Yeah, the other day I watched one of her videos, and she said, "Lower your expectations." As I was like walking through cleaning, I forgot what I was doing, and I heard her say that word, "Lower your expectations." I said, "What's up with that? Is she about ready to show her apartment, or is it because she went from this place to this place?" She's talking about the gym. Then she said, "Oh, this is a Filipino gym situation," and then she went into talking about, "Okay, here's my lunch. It's watermelon," and it's like, or snack or something. And that's the video that I had seen. But no, her numbers have definitely, and more than likely, if it wasn't for her appearing with Geo all the time, her channel by itself would not have. I wish we had some sort of like magic stuff that would have like zipped us up like that, because there hasn't been. With me being a loudmouth female expat that is only, put out stuff that's been going on here, me giving George a hard time, him giving me a hard time, and him being a Filipino, it was never meant to be to see any numbers. And we're not going to go through and we're not sucking up to nobody for the numbers. All of our numbers were hard earned. We weren't even monetized for 2 years. And the biggest paycheck we've seen with a good month of drama is about $400. We said that 400 with stickers, with everything, with memberships, everything was $400. And so it's never been about the money. That is for sure. Oh, her vlogmas. That's what's going on. Yeah. So it's her vlogmas month. No. Anybody that sits around like this, it's Vlogmas month and always playing with my hair. Well, actually, I touch my hair sometimes, but it is a proven thing. So, no, I see her. I see her. Hey, Ace Bachelor, cool. There's somebody who earned his numbers hardcore. 31,000. I know she didn't have those numbers 2 years ago. I'm 100% sure. So, but it is what it is. Can't say too much because then it's, oh, Heidi's hating and she's jealous because she's a Filipino. I would not sleep with Gio to get to the top, nor would he have a chance even like this. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Oh, Char. No, no way. No way I think about. No freaking way. Because I've heard him make comments about American women, and he's made them more than once. Like he had this meme on his Facebook, something about had a fat Barbie in a box or something. But he's always making comments about the big women and the rude women and why he left and all that. And it's like, dude, you need to take a hardcore look in the mirror. And I call him out on that. And now here he is. He's just going to move on and find him a new one, Maya. You was just another Barbie in the box. You were let out of the box to do your thing and do a little sugar plum dance, and then he put you back in a box. No matter what is said, you're still in an apartment again as a single mother again. You probably always was a single mother, even when you was married and with them in the house. Played house for a little bit. I've seen a couple expats do that. There is the guy out there running the restaurant that was with that Bianca girl. What's it? Sarah, that That's Life or That Life or something. And he seems to be doing good, but now he's going around saying my family vacation and all that. Now he's with a single mother, and I don't think they're married. But he did say it was a family vacation, and I don't count on that one either. I get like these weird vibes on that one too. But maybe it'll last forever. Maybe. Good morning from Columbus, Ohio. And also, again, this is a wrap up of the week. My skin's been breaking out. My lupus has been flared up. A wrap up of the week we did cover Elliott Eastman again because there was another video put out of Elliott Eastman, his wife. It was GMA, which we did give credit to, and we did a reaction to a video that was put out after he was announced by the government and the local police that he was dumped over the side of the boat. And in that situation, they used footage from the one from a month ago, but it's new footage and some new information and how many suspects. We took a look at the size of the boat, and then they said there was X amount of people, and then that it was quite interesting. So the mother-in-law seemed to be extremely upset, but what was weird for me is they were still crying as if they knew that he was still going to be found. But they added all the other stuff to say he was gone. And so talk about milking something. They've actually run that as a live stream several times and renamed it and released it. And they're getting like millions of views on it. And they keep replaying it. So when they were down there, they just got a bunch of clips and they're just going to keep, repurposing them. So sad situation, a lot of things going on with that. I was saying the other day that I believe that I would like to believe it was just that. It was just a simple kidnapping, and that it was because they thought he had money and he was an American in the end. But everything else screams that there's something else going on. Like, he was doing the 5-6 loans, and that's what we went over this week. All the different things, insinuations that he was dealing party favors. There was insinuations that he was a pickle toucher, and sorry, I'm coming up with new names because of YouTube. And there's so many different things that there's stories out there. Again, don't shoot the messenger. We're just repeating what's on Facebook and what's been in discussions, and what's it called, Quora, Reddit, and other things from people living over there, and messages we have strangely received from people that claim they're over there, which we take that with a grain of salt. So um, the whole thing was just strange. It still is. Um, and then we had discussed about when they had found that body in the water, the DNA thing, and it just, we just got into a full conversation this week. So, yes, she did indeed. Yeah, no, but temporary. So, did she say that, Tess? They're separating, but temporarily. I don't know. When you move into a full apartment and announce that you and your daughter are moving on, I feel that seems pretty. Sorry, if you guys can't live in the same house and you totally do all that, then the relationship's over. And sometimes there's just a point. There is no giving each other breaks. That was him getting a break from her, or vice versa, because he did something. And if you got to take that stage to move out, your marriage is over, 100% over. That's for sure. But yeah, she said that. So it definitely happened. Yeah, no, that's over. Sorry. That's exactly what was going on when Armstrong. It was the same thing. She hardly said anything. Then videos came out after she put out a couple videos, and then it was announced. I think it's a soft landing is what's going on. I'm looking forward to coming back to the Philippines when I'm approved for your Social Security disability insurance. I was there in 2019 for 2 weeks and love it. There is some advice. You do really need to figure out your banking when it comes to Social Security. Also, what I'm dealing with now is we've officially transferred my Social Security, and I've got a bank account here now. So the problem is that that then terminates all my money accounts in the US. Okay. I would suggest, if you can, to hold on to them. The problem with holding on to banks when you don't have any official residency in the United States, which I've never denied, and that's a lot of expats, so there's no shame in that, is that, like, right now I have, there's like a big mess right now. Like, I have apps and things, and one of my phone services is tied to that bank, and so now I don't, all my money and cards and everything is here in the US, and that my iPhone is stuck for the US right now, because once you change that over, a bunch of the subscriptions cancel. So right now I'm dealing with that. They won't take my PayPal, they won't take my Filipino credit card, and it's only got my US information in there. If I flip it over, I can't use any of those apps, including my Magic Jack. So now I have to go through and get another VoIP to give to my doctors, which I still have in the US, and there are a few other things that it's attached to where I need a US number. But now that was my, you some of those you have to establish in the United States. I was given a list of ones that they claim if I use a VPN, I can just have them turned on. But I got 3 failures this morning to actually pay for my Magic Jack that's attached to where I use it for my family and people to contact me from the US, because I'm not going to keep a US cell phone, and it's too late. I've been gone 4.5 years. I'm not paying even the basic fees over there when I only pay $10 a month here for my phone. The problem is that for me, the problem then becomes the banking for you, and I kept my Medicare, okay, because there's no reason to cancel. When you're on disability, you want to keep it. You can't, you go to cancel it, and then they're like, huh, you don't need that. And then you go through some other issues with them on that. So also, you want to make sure that you keep up your medical. I keep up my medical, keep all records of medication. I'm self pay here. You're going to deal with your Medicare supplement. You do not get to keep that. You go outside the US. These are things nobody are going to talk to you about. Okay. They want to make the transition for you to the Philippines to be as beautiful looking, not seamless and good for you, as they want it. Their channels fail if they actually don't sugarcoat things for you. And that's why I like Sunshine Shoulders. And that's even why I liked MYK, is because he was always putting the truths out there, good and bad about Filipinos. Mostly he was just telling you how it is. He's part Filipino. And I'm living with a Filipino that was born and raised here, but he also lived in the US. So we have the best of both worlds, and he's a citizen. But the truth is that you don't get to keep that supplement, but the other channels, a lot of them in Dumagetti will indicate, oh, just leave all your stuff tied to the US, leave your bank there. Don't, you don't report that you're here. You don't report to Social Security. And I'm going to tell you, there's quite a few channels that'll say, don't do it. And so really all these things are a requirement. You need to report to Social Security. You don't have to register with the embassy when you get here and everything, but let's say them guys over there near Kenalon, something really goes south like Penatubo, they're going to need that. They're not going to be able to find them. So there's so much going on, and it's very confusing when you make that final jump like we did, and we've sold everything and we've been here for years. There's no going back for me. I'm not taking a trip back to the US to go set up a bank account or do one online or anything, just to it's beyond that. So there are some options, and for everybody they have to figure that out. Each person will be individual. I've watched several people lose their bank accounts because they weren't there to get their mail. Their family's mad at them. They reject their mail. The mail doesn't make it. They close down the bank account. Then their Social Security gets shut down. And then it's not that easy to just reopen a bank account or open one here and have the money transfer. All this takes time and affects people. And these guys have become homeless. There are several several expats here in this area where things have gone south in relationships, their payments, everything, and they're homeless. So it's a lot to process. You have to think about that before you come here. And that's only part of the fight process and situation of moving to the Philippines. And the only reason I'm blessed is because I have George to show me the ropes. We've both kind of worked on that. So, in other words, where I knew some stuff and looked things up, we both have completed each other on the process of here because George had to reacclimate himself to the Philippines because he had lived in the US for over 25, 26 years. And so it was a change. And then during the pandemic, we sat here for, the last 4.5 years, and the country has really changed. I mean, got more expensive and just different things going on. So it's a whole process, but it's not that simple. And staying here for 2 weeks is not going to give you a taste of the Philippines. It's not. A lot of people say, "Well, I was here during military, during why I was in the military there for whatever, and they were here for a couple weeks." You really need a taste. Like you need to live here for a month or two because it's always going to seem like a vacation during the first. For some people, depending on what body parts are being sucked on, they may seem like heaven for a year or two until things go south. So you really need to get to know everything. And every area is going to be different. Rents are going to be different. It's going to change. So, and it is what it is. Thank you on the dog. Yes. Says he looks like somebody. I don't know. She looks like somebody. I don't know who that would be. George says that dog looks just like you. I know, doesn't she? George is being secretive because I think he got it from his girlfriend or something, and I joke very very lightly on that one because he wanted it to be a surprise, and he came through the door, it made me cry, and she's super cute, but we know that she is Shih Tzu, but he said that she's some sort of special one. I don't know if she was bred with the Pekingese because something looks different about her. And I don't know. I have to he won't tell me. If I ask George, "Hey, where did you get that dog?" and more information, it just continue on his phone. I'm like, so if he doesn't answer me, then I don't get an answer. And where'd you get her from? Nothing. How much did you pay for her? Nothing. So all I know is he told me that she was different. Her parents are small, and to me, she doesn't look like pure Shih Tzu. I've seen the other dogs; they're pretty good size. And she's now officially probably at least 6 months old, and she looks awful small. And she's not in the last month and a half. She's only getting wider, not longer. So maybe it is. But I thought Shih Tzus were Pekingese mix or something. So I don't know. She listens for the most part. She's pretty good. People that can't have kids have dogs. They probably should. We have kids. George has several kids, and I do too. So thank you. Hey, Clifford Smallwood, what is going on? I think your title gave Luna a heart attack. She came home and made me put you on. Sorry, sweetie. No, we were just talking that beings he was going to be gone. I said, I'm going to go ahead and tell people, has my Filipino husband left? Technically, he has. He'll be back later tonight. And he didn't want to announce the funeral in front of everybody because he's like, well, you know, we try to tell people do not give all your information away on the internet. Just like our boy Elliott Eastman, he gave everything away, and I really believe everything he did had something to do with him being taken. His last 14 live streams, we did a whole documentary video of him called Gone and added in some previous stuff that we had based on that thing. It's like he didn't want the camera to rest that day. It's like he knew they were coming that day. It was so weird. He just didn't want to be left alone. And he slept alone when he went to bed. But it's the same thing here. If you watch, they've gotten so good at um, getting information about you online, especially here in Asia, that they just showed the other day that the deep fakes are getting so real that these girls and guys are faking other people out and getting money in these online relationships, and they're faking their family members. This is around the world, just not here, but it's becoming more prevalent here. And they're faking that you're like let's say we announce the funeral on Facebook and here, and I said, "Oh, George is going to be gone for 3 or 4 days." Okay, honestly, I'm not going to tell you exactly when he's returning. He might be gone for a couple of days. He might be here in another 2 hours. Honestly, it doesn't matter because George left his pit bull at home. So, really your worry is me over him and getting over my gate, which I have no doubt that a Filipino can get over the gate. I doubt some of these expats can. Just be honest with yourself. We's old and our stomachs are getting bigger. And I said, don't worry, no Filipinos coming over here, right? And but you don't want to announce it. Like when we first moved in here, we moved in a lot of stuff, and we don't invite strangers in the house or people we don't know. We've tried to give little bits of this information out as expats, and you guys think it's a joke till they took Elliott Eastman. Sorry. Having a microwave and some of the items and equipment we have in the house and the computers and all that doesn't exactly not scream that there's something going on, although we're broke, but they're not going to accept that. I digress. So, don't announce where you are all the time. If you guys are vlogging, you don't announce it all the time. But some people do. They actually, like always, like we did when we were at Google because we had and wanted to go live there. It was part of our situation going on with Google, but we don't always do that. So the same with that morning we were at the resort. We knew we were going to be home in 2 hours. So you just don't, because we've learned from that. So that's all I can say. But my lips are dry. I don't know what it is. You guys can hear me okay, right? Because like I said, I'm using his mic on the side. It kind of leaves the Christmas tree in it. We got like our ornaments from over the years. This is our 2020 ornament. And then we got our dinosaur. So every year we get like a new ornament. And let me show you guys. This is our ornament for this year. We thought it was customized, so that's supposed to be me and George, right? It says George and Heidi, and it says 2024, and over my head it says ho 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 with an E, right? And so we get the different ornaments, and we got these. These remind me. I don't know for the people from the U.S. Do you guys remember when they had those? Where you used to bake the ornaments, they were like plaster. You put the little sprinkles of the stuff, you put it in the oven, and then bake them, and you can make little things because it's almost the same. It's like real thin plastic, but these are really cute. So we got a bunch of these new ornaments too this year. And of course, we have a bowling pin one, and we have like we used to go camping all the time. So this reminds me, one of our favorite movies is I Love Lucy, and she does that where she takes her trailer, long long road or some long long something. And so we got that when we went camping, and then we have a bowling pin and a little bowling ball. But nah, we do the ornaments and stuff. But no, everything's. You can make armor piercing bowls out of depleted uranium. Ah, interesting. Hey, what is going on, Bernardo Magic? No need for such. Could be cruelty that you're saying. You talking about Maya, or I have no loyalty to Maya. Just hate to say it. It's cruelty if I'm talking. Actually, that's what this show's always been about, and beings. This is just where the show has actually been. So if she and he and the others want to sit there and say, "Welcome to the Philippines. It's a beautiful place, and you can just magically show up here, and all the food is masarap," and you guys want to buy that, all that simping, pre-done stuff, that's on you. Then you're watching the wrong channel, my friend. Hello, guys. Watching the wrong thing, sisters. Hey, good morning, Victoria. Good morning, Heidi. Morning, George, wherever you are. Funeral. Good morning, chat people. Yeah. Masarat, the world is fine. Philippines, South Africa are polar opposites. Obviously, you have never been there, and you have. I've been to the continent of Africa, my friends. I have been there, my sisters. So I've been to several places there, but I understand it's rough there. And maybe you're talking to the previous person, I'm assuming, about that, but it's still a developing country, and the Philippines has fallen behind. And no, here they might make $10 a day, and you're right, they make $2 or $3 a day, if that. There, I get there's a big difference. There's a big difference. So most definitely. It's definitely takes a while to get used to the Philippines. It does. And just recently I just like, but it's cheap. It's 99 cents, so I deal with it for multiple reasons. I'm also in realization that I've planted my feet here and this is where I'm going to stay. And once you get over that and you adjust and embrace the cultures and the things that are going on, like I don't even hear the kids or, I let everybody just be them. So, oh, yeah, that went south quick, didn't it? You're right, Cecil. At least the geo relationship isn't ending like Scuba Chef's thing did. These things can get ugly quick. Yeah. And like the Armstrong. There was all kinds of insinuations. They ended up on Rafi Tulfo or that guy that we had that came in. I believe that was this week for the Rafi Tulfo show that we did. And that was that's probably something else George is going to do. If is he'll probably start doing some of the Rafi Tulfo, like where, because it's hard with me not reacting. So that way he might just do individuals where he just does them and translates for you guys the way MYK did. That way I'm not disturbing him. So, but no, it went quick on that one. And that was bad. There was never any update. I haven't even looked back on her stuff. So there are too many dang condos. My opinion is they falsify to Filipinos that it's a way to make income by renting them out. Yeah, and a lot of them just isn't worth it, and the repayment and some of the structures of the payments, and I don't know, that's just crazy. I just can't see it. My recommendation is to not buy or build. Look what's going on with Paul Old Dog New Trick. That house, it's going to take another 2 years to build. I know he wants to do that. I just can't see it. And the only reason to do it is in a case like what he's doing for her, because it's going to be in her name. He knows that, and Paul may or may not have health problems. He seems to be. He's had some. He's put that out there, and it's not like he's going to be around another 30 years. Sorry, Paul, to actually be there for the house. No, he wants to take care of baby May, and mad respect for that. But a lot of these other guys come in here with different thoughts. Like they get all tangled up in their woman. Some of them are married, some of them aren't. They take on building a house because they're trying to impress the family, or to find cheap rent for themselves, or they're trying to secure, who knows. But the mistake is building on family property. That's really bad. And then when they go to build, technically you cannot own that unless you lease. So I still wonder about all these guys that have been actually physically building houses, that are not in their Filipinas name. So there's so much. I just don't recommend it. Like even the condos, it's mm, that's just crazy. There are benefits to the condos, but I would rent them. I would not go paying for them. Mary could possibly be a Shih Tzu Pekingese. I'm wondering if that's what he's not telling me, because he said that we didn't get papers with her. but the parents were small. The mother is really small. So I'm wondering that if he, which is fine. She's cute as a bug in a rug. I mean, that's to me. I thought Shih Tzus were a Pekingese mix. I'll have to look. I have not had the time to go through and really read more about the Shih Tzu. I know she's hyperactive. I had a small Chihuahua that was a miniature, like really small, just a couple pounds, and she was not as hyper as she is. Like all day, Mary is bouncing, like bounce, bounce, bounce all over the house, and she's full of energy. She plays with the cat Tweety, but now that Tweety's been fixed, she slowed down. But she plays. They run back and forth, and they tap each other, and it's really cute how they play together. So she's got a friend, but she's so wound up, and then she sleeps the other part of the day. She's down there sleeping now. I wish you guys could see this, but she's so spoiled. I mean, she's been going through like a potty training phase like you wouldn't believe. So my parents has a Pekingese and a Peekaboo. So maybe she does have something kind of weird. Oh, okay, 29 months. Okay, so you might have found the article. Yeah, property consultants. Yeah, Metro Manila. So I knew it was taking versus 12 months. I could have sworn they said it was 30 something. Not 20. I'm just another Filipina. I just seen Geo or Maya and everything. I guarantee I'm an original. You guys ain't gonna find this nowhere. George, the lucky guy. So I can cook, clean, make a mean barbecue rib, pulled pork, and doll you up in the morning, and still make you biscuits and gravy and give you attitude by 3 o'clock. So um, let's see. I think that was in the news. George's probably still on the road, not saying anything because usually he tries to listen in, but okay, 29 months. So, okay. Well, that's a different article. I didn't even see this one. Yeah, see, this is reading a little. They're 12 months normal, 29. So there must be one or two articles. But yeah, 29 is correct. So, but yeah, that's still the whole point is that there are condos everywhere. And someone the other day said they're really overpriced in Metro Manila and in the Philippines. So when you consider some of the smaller ones, because remember some of them are super narrow and small, and you're paying two, three, 400,000 for a condo in a certain area, or you're paying even the houses. I've seen some of these houses; they're out in the middle of nowhere, and like half the houses are like not even built. Like they're building them a few at a time on these properties, and um, that I think they're starting out at 6 million pesos, 7 million pesos, and people go into bank loans. I just can't see buying. I mean, it seems like a sweet thing to do, but I would just be doing the rent. So there is now an oversupply, 29 months worth of condominiums due to mainly high interest rates and extremely risky long shift. And here's the thing, who's buying them? Why? I mean, the real reality of it is I get it. There's not that many expats here. There are not that many rich Filipinos. I mean, eventually somebody will, but there are so many of these housing areas that have these kind of like the place we're living in. I call them kind of I always call it a townhouse. I get attacked on calling this a townhouse looking place, but in Ohio and in Florida, these are townhouses. Even if it's in an apartment complex, these are considered townhouse apartments. And they do a bunch of these where they stack them next to each other. And even when they build them individually, they seem to be more narrow. I've seen they're starting to build them in the United States because it's saving land, like they can put more on the land. And the cost of them, and a lot of them are in a division that's a little further outside of the city, and then there'll be a bunch of them built, and then they just break down because nobody moves into them or they're not maintenance. And it's just kind of all over the place. They sell them a lot here, like in Mavalacat, Angeles City. They're all over the place, and you'll see the ads on Facebook. I just can't see it. And who's buying them? Like some of the requirements of income and to get the bank loans, or whether they do the Paggy Big, it's a whole different. I'm just wanting to know who's buying them with the way the market is. Yeah, the stats right there that they're giving. New preference to single detached home and properties nearby the province. Well, but some of them are actually still linked. That's kind of like the ones I was just talking about, but some are linked. Like ours, there's 8 of them connected together inside of the subdivision. But it used to be the subdivision was closed down, and then I can't even begin to tell you about the type of subdivision we're in. So that it is true, you get what you pay for situation or where you actually live, but I can't see spending 60,000 a month either. So in others, it's just not that much. There is a difference, but for me, there's not. As long as my inside setup, kind of like in New York, or kind of like in other areas where like these people turn these buildings that look like something bad on the outside, and you go inside and it looks like the inside of Snoop's mansion or something. That's living, man. It's I've gotten used to getting used to the outside environment, being one way. As long as you set your own happiness up, aka my air conditioner, our sound machines at night, the fans. We've installed certain things in the house to make it comfortable, and we set it up the way we want. That's all that matters. If you're happy and you have your happy environment. I told George, I said, I need one of those private rooms. I said, I'm just going to paint it kind of tan and make it all one neutral color and put a little fluffy bean bag in the corner, and I'm going to make it like my Zen room or something. He says, he goes, they got things that can help you with that, right? I said, I'm not taking anything. Ah, hey, CBGB, even most Americans are barely getting by, but the Philippines is another level of health. That is true. That is true. But I hate, this is where I come in to say, to me, the hell that you can get out of, or the zen, or the part that you can make of it right now, at least it is cheaper. There is a major trade off. And I think it takes a special person or somebody who can deal with all the craziness. So maybe if you're crazy, you can deal with the crazy, or you can slide in, fit in where you get in with the environment going on. Because if you have any mental issues, any problems, or you guys get stressed easy, there was this blogger about 2 years ago that said she couldn't get her medicine. She was on all kinds of ADHD medicine. She needed anxiety medicine. I thought I could fill all these medicines. No, it's not that easy. A lot of those medicines in most areas are unavailable, and I think she was out in Shergow or something, and she laid around because she dealt with depression, and she couldn't even vlog for a few months. She was totally down. Actually, 2. There was one in BGC. She said she was on medicine too and dropped out. And then all of a sudden she started vlogging again. And these guys have big numbers. But this woman, same thing, couldn't get her medicine. So in other words, you got to really check out your medicine and medical situation. Right before we left, so it's been almost 5 years ago I was diagnosed with lupus, and I've been dealing with other issues. So if I wasn't already chunky and with bad knees and dealing with a few other regular medical conditions, including skin cancer, then you add that on top of it, and it just put me in a different category. But we had already put in motion about traveling here, and I thought I could deal with it. And right now I'm dealing with it. But I do worry about our future. Something could happen to George and we would need full care. Something could happen to me. And not everybody's prepared for that. Neither are we. We can only take one day at a time, like we will in the United States, or would have in the United States. because I keep hearing the stories about insurance not paying out in the U.S. and all these other things. You could still have things go bad in the U.S. too. It's just inexpensive here, and it's a different level of people. And so, a lot going on. Yeah, I'm not sure. 31,000. Maybe I was talking about the subscriber. Hey, Hockey Craig. Geo says how he doesn't like talking about his private life, hugging babies, going to expat meetups, but he is in the extremely public forum called YouTube. And that's true. Hate to say it. You know, I didn't, and George didn't think about when we got into YouTube. When we got into it 4.5 years ago, it didn't have quadruple the people, and where everybody now is a vlogger out there. Like everybody's personal life has become vlog, and everybody's running a camera all the time. So I think that's getting to be a normal thing. But on the other hand, once you do this, like us, we've been like very open. Like you guys know probably 90% of our life right now. And so, in being in the open, it's caused issues, but then you learn to overcome that and you now learn things and then you actually move on. But your life in the public it is what it is because we're on other social media platforms too. So, and I try to remember that when things go bad out and about, I'm like, could be somebody watching. Good good morning, Mike and Arlen. How are you doing? I've been looking to see if you've had any videos. Now I haven't checked probably in the last 2 days. So our Philippine journey's in the house. Wondering if you have all your Christmas plans in order. I think we've already decided. Sometimes we arrange to go places like George was at Candy Palace last year for New Year's. This year where I told him because I was here, I said they had a banging party over here. It was big time, like it was even better than the previous place we lived in. So I promised him that for now on, I'm into this barbecue rib situation. So we're going to do up a bunch of barbecue ribs, and we're just going to make different things: stuffing, mashed potatoes, yams. I'm actually making chocolate cover orange wedges. There's all kinds of things that we got planned out for the holiday with some friends and stuff. Being with Geo definitely pumped Maya's YouTube numbers up. Yeah. Before she met him, her channel was basically inactive. Yeah. Yeah. I seen that it was 2016. So she just had it basically to whatever. But I noticed that it looked like most of her videos are done since she started with him, and that's understandable. There's nothing wrong with the women taking on their own channel. So, right, Heidi will never sleep her way to the top. Um, yeah, that is true. But if that's a reference to I can't, that's on you, my friend. So I'm the unusual one here in the Philippines. Sugar plum dance, yeah. So, been there, done that in my lifetime, Mr. Grady. And cinnamon rolls every day. Didn't they just get married or am I tripping? Yeah, no, I want to say it's been maybe a year and a half. Del Grady, neither will I. I hear you. Well, that's what I'm saying. Most of us expats that are here, or our average viewer, I always say this, is somewhere between 45 and 65. And it shows a big percentage are. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it just, but you need to be like in reality because we've been asked that if we broke up like Gia and Maya and that was the end of it, or like the Armstrong family, it was asked with George sitting here, they're like, would you just stay here and go into another visa, or would you go back to the US if he passed away? So I was asked multiple things over and over again during the last few years. It's like, I'm definitely going to stay here, even if it's just me doing everything and I'm single. But here's the thing, there's no way I would date here. And I know you guys are like, well, nobody will touch you or whatever. if the women touch the other expats, and some of them are pretty nasty, okay, no offense to some of them in there. If it sticks to you, you know that you're where you're at in your life. So some guys, and one, I would stay single just to stay single. But at this point, being's my income alone is 4 times higher than the average person in this neighborhood or part of Angel City or part of the Philippines. I can't see dating a guy that I wouldn't think that would strictly be with me because I wasn't trying to take care of him. I mean, that's just me. I've always cooked and cleaned and loved my guys and been mother like and been a mother figure. I handle business. I'm a tough cookie. I take action when need to be. I'm business like. I'm just like the full package. But me being big may not be everybody's cup of tea here. And if people deal with me at my age, it's not gonna be another Filipino of my age. Most of them are married, and it just I can't see it happening. So, I just can't see it happening. I really do believe the male expats with the Filipino relationships are totally different. So, under no circumstance would I date again here. I would just stay single, and if he does pass away and fall down the stairs or if something happens to him on the way to that funeral and causes his own funeral, I'm just staying and still staying single. Sadly, now she's marries a woman. It will be harder for her to find a new man. Yeah, it will be. That Philippine life. Yeah, that's who I was talking about. How he said he's on family vacations now. I sleep my way to the top. Hee hee. I'm on wife number 4. I hear you, man. Nobody's perfect. No relationship is perfect. It's how you survive on the ocean and how the waves go and if you bounce back and you stick with each other through thick and thin. It sounded like Geo and Maya just stuck through thin and probably a couple bowls of rice and a couple vacations and then on it went. But you have to it is I've discussed me and George's relationship to the point where you guys again have seen me upset on air and everything. I walk away. I'm like, F that. I'm done with it, and I'm not doing this no more. And I'm tired. And usually I'm on steroids. I've been on a steroid regimen for about a year, and so, but a lot of people think that I'm just absolutely horrible towards George, and I'm the typical American woman when we both complete each other. Where he says no, I won't say no, and where we both need to be strong. We have our very strong suits, and I believe we complete each other, which is the meaning of everything. And George is a tough cookie. I'm gonna tell you right now, it takes a real super tough guy to be with me because I speak my mind. If George is doing something, I'm just gonna call him out on it. And the same thing, he calls me out on my stuff, which no other husband or boyfriend ever did. They spent too much time sucking up. It was weird. But George is a very honest, open person, but quiet on the other hand. He's a real quiet, typical Filipino. And so we have our challenges. We were challenged in Mexico. We were during the pandemic, but I'm blessed and he's a tough guy. He's not somebody to be messed with. He just stays quiet. He has his limits, that is for sure. So, but we've both been through our marriages. So, and we're both Cancer. So it's like a fire and ice thing, except for I'm closer to the Leo side, which means I've got a double bark bite. So it's but it seems like the older I get, I'm getting mellow. Maybe it's because my knees aren't working as well. And so maybe I just don't have the strength to actually, be rough and tough like I used to be, or I don't know. I can be, but it's just something's changing the older I get. I just like, but I still say bite me. And so about a year, I think it was about a year and a half. So the police might know the real reason behind the hints they shut the case down. It might be. If you're talking about Elliott Eastman, I think they wanted to just close it down. I think they do know more. I think the family knows more. I think they want tourism to move on. I think they want it all behind the new, the this year behind the up and coming new year, and people will forget. Okay, it'll be the same as, a lot of people listed the other ones that were taken over the years and they paid out ransoms or something happened to them during all that stuff down there. And I just think the entire case is strange. And so it's, I feel bad for his wife. Personally, I think they know something but didn't say something. I don't feel personally they were all involved in it or nothing like that. I think they might know, but I think they have no choice but to be quiet, and that now she has to deal with that. I didn't know she was married before, but it came out in the news she was married, and I'm like, the girl has to have been 18 when they got married, but under 18 when they met. And so I'm like, who did she marry? Maybe it was just a quick Muslim wedding, and there's so much going on. So they're saying it's not a jealous ex, but she did have an ex-husband. But her Facebook page is the 5 or 6 she had showed that she had a boyfriend messaging her, like giving her the hearts and everything else, just maybe a month or two before she showed up being with him. And so there's a lot going on. So I haven't lost much through the divorces. I'm 57 now, retired, so I guess I'm moving up. Yeah, you're probably lucky. Some of them guys get wiped out from their wives, like they lose the house, they lose. But understand, for a fair shake for the women in America, and it happens here, the the women do work alongside with their husbands usually, and all of a sudden things go bad at the end, like some cheating in the end. There's where they decide to break up because the kids were raised, but there are quite a few women that are with their husbands, like in my marriages it was like that. I've always worked, so I wouldn't have just walked away and left cars and everything, although I have. Okay, but it's I don't know. It's every divorce is different. And so you're lucky though because you can have your house clean. Get that free no. So Elliott Eastman, I thought it was the ex-boyfriend hired someone to take she had a husband. There was it looked to be a boyfriend. Now they are announcing officially in the news that she was married. In that one video, she had 2 rings on. Me and George got in an argument. Like George loves to have all the facts. He said that it could have just been an extra ring on her finger, but they're just plain gold bands on her finger. I thought it was him that had them, so it was her that I had seen early on with 2 rings on one hand. He said it was just an extra ring. I said, "Is it her ex-husband's ring or?" And then they announced that. So Carl, he's gone. So I don't know if you've been listening to that. Hey, Carl, uh, the the actual Philippine government announced that he didn't even make it. Like he had passed on before he even got in the boat. They put him in the boat, took him out, dumped him. That came from the government newspaper. Then the police mentioned the same thing, that the witnesses that were there said that he was dumped, and they just haven't recovered the body. They're never going to recover that body. So, officially, it's been announced all of a sudden every major news station, newspaper, and TMZ. I made a joke. I said, TMZ mentioned it. It must be true. So, no, and that's pretty much what was guessed because one of the wounds was in his abdomen and the other one was in his leg. And whether it was in the groin, abdomen area, or wherever, the two were too much. And so the only thing I'm wondering is why there was such a ruckus in the house and he was injured. And it's unclear whether one happened in the house, one outside, because there was a big area in the sand. And the deal with the family knowing the color of the boat, not knowing the color of the boat, there was so much going on. All I know is I think it had something to do with they may have known in the end who it was. They may not have been involved, but it's just very, very sad, right? Did they check that boat? Even if you wash the boat with glow under the UV, as one, they might have. They might have went that far, but they claim that the witnesses had already come forward that were involved and said that that's what happened, and they're confessing. are these paid witnesses or is this just for the tourism thing? Because understand how the operations work here in the Philippines because it's suffering really bad right now. It was already suffering down there. And so, yeah. But even I don't know. I don't think I think if they would have painted it, which they allegedly did, wouldn't that have affected the blood itself? I don't know if you could actually peel the paint away from the actual. I think they're really going to rely on saying that the witness seen it. And so, hey, what is going on, Daryl? I missed everything. SSDI is the Darien Gap for migration to the Philippines. I see a conversation going back and forth about Social Security and all that. There's no shame in that game. I get picked on all the time for being here on disability, that I'm some welfare brat or and that I'm just living on somebody else's money and this and that. I worked since I was 15 years old and I have a permanent one of my permanent disabilities is actually listed as the award for it that I've gotten. And with this disability, I mean, I earned mine early. I majorly paid in. My spouses have majorly paid in, and there's no shame in that. I wasn't, I already wasn't working when I actually came to the Philippines. I did part-time driving just because I was bored because there is a percentage that I am allowed to work and report, and I properly report to Social Security. But I have a permanent award letter, which means they're not going to have me go to a doctor's office and keep requalifying. Mine is super permanent. There is no way to get past these. And so I'm not a 10-year-old child where my disability may change or there are multiple listed, but the one will never change. And I got awarded on that. Now, for those that are coming on the Social Security disability, make sure that you have that because when you're new, they could always change that in the first 6 months or 2 years. Okay. Mine has been, let's see, 14 years. Let me think about that. Yes, it's been 14 years. So, in calculating how long I've been on disability, if you're new and you just start getting that, they like in the beginning, they did have me go back in and recheck. And then once they realized your condition was only worsening and not getting better, and then once I hit a certain age, I think it was after the age of 40, that's when they actually just, there was like a letter that was sent to me that I have. You guys go check it out. But um, no. So I would be careful on that because there was another guy here, and I talk about him because he was, I don't know what type of Social Security he was on, but he was super young. Like he was under the age of 30. He was over in Dumaguete doing the paintings. He's since his return to the US. He was getting his Crohn's disease medicine sent by FedEx. Okay, so that means his grandmother was using his insurance. He was living in the Philippines long term, but he was having her fill it based on his medical insurance, which he no longer qualified for because he was no longer in the US. So that was already a state of fraud. And then after that, yeah, I'm spilling beans here, guys. At that point, he also had a bunch of other medication shipped along with it. And without it, it was like life saving for him. Plus, he was legally blind, but yet he was hiking, he was painting. And I get where people say, oh, blind people can paint and do this and that. No, George says that dude is doing full paintings like he has eyes. And so we understand it might be a percentage that he was blind, that he was getting paid because you get paid way more for being blind on disability. So he had that disability and he was showing that he could get around. There was nobody holding his hands while he was hiking or moving around. And people started to talk about the dude. He is now back since in the US, but they will watch you. It's the same, it's the same anywhere that actually could happen, guys. So, so many factors on that. But if you're coming over on disability, understand that it won't be so easy. You may even have to go back to the US just to do whatever tests or things that they're asking you to do. So, are there guys here on it that never had any issues? Yes. And as far as income or the shame of having Social Security, you want to have some savings along with it. There's nothing wrong with that because some guys have pensions to go along with it. And not all vloggers and people talk about their full source of income, just like you guys assumed we were all living just on YouTube and Social Security. No, George has had a job for quite some time. So it's not the only money. Just because you don't see us out there with a brand new car and hitting this or hitting that doesn't mean that we don't. We don't fully discuss our full incomes in life till now because there's no way we can continue doing 3 live streams a week or 4 live streams a week with him doing these other additional things plus the holidays. And that's just where it is. So, but there's a lot of expats here and they're either on a Social Security check or there's a lot of guys on military pension or military disability. There's a whole slew of them on Walking Street in that area that are all on those disability checks. So I can name a few right now, but I will not actually name them. But they don't talk about it, not on their channels. Let's see if I can pull back up for. Victoria said both dogs are similar. So the Philippines has really changed and has become very westernized, and traditional Filipinos have left the building. I said that when I first arrived. Very expensive now compared to pre-COVID, like most countries. Walking Street is dying, guys. I tell you that right now. It's the prices. I don't think a lot of those bars are breaking even down there. They've got to barely be breaking even. There's just even if like the other night I seen a guy that was down there doing a live. It came up in my feed, and it was appeared to be busy, but that doesn't mean they're making a lot of money. So the bars are having problems. And not that I'm gonna pretend that I know the inside and out operation. This is just the word on the street and the prices. It's really getting expensive. It's not the same as what people thought. Then people are like, "Oh, stop being cheap. Go ahead and spend the money." The Japanese guys are, the Koreans are spending it. It's putting out the other expats, and then people are like, "Well, make more income before you get here." And it's like a bunch of ugliness. It's like, you guys think I'm ugly? The whole expat genre of what goes on over here is ugly. So then people are like, "Oh, hit Thailand or go to Vietnam," or they're advising people to go to other places. And if the Philippines doesn't pull it together shortly, they're going to take their 1,800 US dollar check, which I don't know what the average Social Security check is right now. I think it's somewhere around that 1,700. I'll have to find that out, guys. But I know that they're going to take it somewhere else. And I know a lot of people are going to be leaving the US because you cannot survive on Social Security there. And I have savings or had savings in the US, and I've used a lot of it, and George has used a lot of his just to cover us moving here. And with the Social Security amount, I told George, I said, basically, we'd have been down to, we already blew our 401ks and stuff. So it's like, if it would have just came down to 2 Social Security checks, I guarantee by the time George receives his in another 10 or 11 years, at that point, them 2 checks here may be a struggle. Imagine it in the United States with the rents going up and the cost of food. And I just can't imagine. I don't want to be sitting there struggling eating a can of cat food and not paying my heating bill, or having to go live in the bad part of, say, Florida or Georgia, or go to Mississippi. I think they said Mississippi was one of the cheaper places to live, or go hide somewhere. I don't even want to think about it. So, it's a blessing at the same time, but the costs have changed. And so what's frustrating for me is, like I said, I mentioned that 10,000 peso Christmas dinner. Who can really afford 10,000 pesos? I didn't come here to buy a possibly a $50, $60, turkey or ham, or I just didn't think the cost would be this way. As I was to understand through vlogs and George, which had not been home in a while, is that things were cheap here. And he says, no, things have gotten crazy. He goes, it's a difference of day and night. And he had been back within a few years. So in other words, he wasn't gone all 28 years. No, things just really in the last couple of years have just shot up. Um, so, hey, Harry, good morning. Hello, all from Deer Park, New York. You really need to be careful of the women in the Filipinos. Western men think they are true love, but it's far from the truth. It almost seems stereotypical to say they're desperate and they're this, and that. But then in talking to other expats, it also seems that some can be very manipulating. I have to use that's my word of the week, that there is something else. But this happens everywhere in the world. So, Mr. Sob sucks. What is going on? No, it's not clickbait. He is leaving. He's left. And there are big changes. So nope. You want clickbait? You message me and I'll give you about 4 channels that are some real clickbait. And I'm gonna tell you what, that is a real thing. And so I told George, I said I can think of a big channel right now that uses constant clickbait. And it's like you get in there and it's like, oh, his wife is lying. And so it's like, hello. So when you see our titles, 99% they're straight on. And has my Filipino husband left? Yeah. He went to a funeral and I'm not going to that funeral. No way you're going to have me sit through a funeral. I'm not going to tell you if it's a 1-day funeral, 3-day funeral, and he will be leaving the channel because we're going to be doing less of the content, especially through the remaining of the holiday. And we're just going to slow down. We have other channels. We have a no face channel. We have a music channels, 2 of them. He has a gaming channel that's successful. That's why he mentioned it during the Google event. So we have other things that are going on. Unfortunately, with the big boom in expat Filipina couple channels, one, we can't compete in that situation. And we're not going to dump a bunch of money into advertisement. We're not paying these companies that are illegal to do the advertisement as others have. And we're just not going to do it. We're going to enjoy the channel like we used to, and we're going to enjoy our time with each other. So there's nothing clickbait. He has left. He left to go to a funeral. And as far as continuing 3 and 4 times a week live streams, we won't be doing it. You're going to see me do some live streams. You're going to see me do expat help videos. You're going to see George do his walkabouts like he has been. And we're just going to go back to what we enjoy. He likes doing them walkabouts. And I believe he'll be doing and editing a video. I don't know. I had to find out from him. He left early this morning if he's going to do he has a Ricky video. He did an out and about Ricky video. We're going to do things that we enjoy doing and still do it with we're at that point now in the channel, although we're about ready to hit 20,000, is that we just want to enjoy our time. And there's nothing wrong with that. So you'll still get content. So this isn't us like, not, let's see. I was wondering about that. Pekingese have black faces and different colored coats. When the 2 dogs are mated, they get a Chinese. Maybe I got a Chinese. Because I was wondering, because I've looked up Shih Tzus and none of them have this face. None of them have this color. I see the white ones and the tannish and white ones, but they don't have these black faces. But the Pekingese do. So you think she's a Chinese, Victoria? I'm just wondering. And I know this is going to be like a big boom for people. We'll probably be posting more to our regulars, such as members. We send stuff through our messenger to our regular supporters. We get people that send us Christmas items. And yes, this is me sucking up. It's the Christmas holiday. We get items sent through. We get Billy buy-in boxes. We get items sent through Amazon, and we get support during our birthdays and everything. And these are our core people. These are our core people. So therefore, we'll probably be opening up one more level of membership and dropping it to the bare minimum. And a lot of our content may go to that. We've been advised this through our manager, and we've been advised otherwise to, some people have turned their entire channels into pay only. But it's at this point we want to put out certain content to, the members and our regulars. And our regulars, we would just send it through Messenger, or for those that go on to Patreon and stuff. So yeah, we're just going to scale back. It's Hey, Victor C. Merry Christmas. Last year you did the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, 6 foot. I seen this cartoon that was from a couple years back. It might even been closer to 10 years, where it showed what Charlie Brown looked like when he became an adult. Kind of like that one Christmas, the Christmas movie where it showed him as an adult, but it showed Charlie Brown. It was hilarious, man. It showed the girls were all, overweight, and he tried to kick the football again, and they showed Linus was stuck in his house. He was like some crazy guy, and it was really cute. And George was like, "Oh, I already seen that. This is the first time I've seen this one." So thank you, Victoria. And just to be clear, I said it on the beginning. It's not the uncle. He's got several uncles and aunts here. That's who's in the car. So let me, in case you guys, I'm just going to run through some of the articles in case you guys didn't know. That is the uncle that was sick. Okay, these are his other aunts, and they rented a van. Some people think it's the same trip, and it's not. That wasn't his family. Them were family friends. The guys that George grew up with, that he went on that little resort thing, that was like his friends from school. And so their family and his friends went on a resort. I wouldn't have blocked their faces out. I hate to say it, we didn't block them out in the video. So, but being this is his personal family, we've actually done that. George wears that shirt because, one, it's comfortable, and it's respectable and everything. So he ended up wearing it again. So it is a different situation, and it's his other uncle did pass away. So they're heading to Nueva Cia, or Nueva Cia. So yeah. So many Phil Simps getting taken down. It's not a magical country many YouTubers portray it. That is true. And we've always stuck to that point. We cover other expats. We cover the fact that it's actually not. There's good, bad, and ugly. We don't have, some people think it was because of this and that and the money, but the one thing we do know in the end is we are very excited about the partnership with having our YouTube manager during the last 2 years, which is not paid for. It is given based on certain qualifications, and we will continue to go to them their meetups with our manager and other YouTubers. It is invite only, and they do several a year, and so we have worked really hard at the channel, the both of us, and it's not like over, it's not completed, and there is still a future, but you can't make any money at this. Even, we don't have a simp channel where everything is pre-scripted and we show this and show that and suck up to people and get tons of stickers and separate PayPal accounts and Gcash accounts. And even if it was, it would be the same content, guys. It would be exactly the same. So we've continued over the years, and it doesn't make anybody rich by far. And most of them are making little to nothing. And there's a percentage. If you make it to this level and you get monetized, that puts you in the top. What is it? I'm going to throw some numbers out there: 6%, 8%. And then only so many of them make it past 10,000. And then only so many of them get managers. So we're down to that 1% situation. because we have a manager and nobody else in our genre does. So it does make us different, and it's something we're really proud of, but there is no money. And they're putting out, the other channels put out so much magic. And it's it's just overblown. I thought I would like the Philippines, but oh my God, it's so hot it is, especially when there's brownouts. It's hot. Yeah, they have one going on, I believe, still in Surigao. Even that couple 8 miles from home, I talked about this the last time. They've got all them solar panels. They spent all that money, and it's going to take them 10 years to get it paid off and everything. They don't have any extra. They're actually struggling to keep going because they're loaning out their electricity or something, so it makes it less than. And I haven't watched any of the last couple videos, but now that can be a clickbaiting channel. If you watch some of their stuff, there was stuff where it says my wife is leaving me and she went to England, but there was something else added in the title. But some of their stuff is really good. But they're doing that to actually get people to come in. But no, they've got, that's really bad when the brownouts actually happen. Scuba Chef was with that girlfriend. There's been no update, so I don't know if you're just asking who he is or what happened. There has never been any update. So the only new updates we ever got recently on any of our stories is that, was it the Australian couple and the Filipina in that hotel room that were tied up and Xnayed. I didn't know that there was an update that it was the pool guy that did it, that worked at the hotel, the one that they seen walking down the hallway, and people joked that it was Andy Omar or something. It was really hilarious. And this was way back when. And it was the pool guy did it. And the family was demanding justice, and that came up pretty quick. Sometime within a 2-week period, they announced that they had who it was, but I didn't know because a lot of times it only ends up in one additional article, and we can't read the news 24/7. Hey Max, NFL players are being warned by authorities to stop showcasing their homes in their YouTube videos because of the sophisticated break-ins. Your personal life isn't personal once you broadcast it to the world. Yeah, no, it's true. And a lot of people have said, "Oh, well, you guys aren't rich, and you shouldn't have to worry about that. And we only think we're rich." No, it's enough. It's enough going on, or me even saying this now, that, I mean, look at Elliott. There's a good chance it was strictly because of him being an American. Somebody left a message saying one of his shirts that he had on was a Louis Vuitton. Sorry, I mean I know how to say it, and that it was $1,000 US. And I said, well, first off, I seen it. I don't think it is real, and there is a lot of fakes here. It could have just been something he bought here at the market or something. But you don't even want the appearance of rich. I mean, like these right here are made of shells, but they could think that it's pearl or something, and you don't even want to look like that you actually have um, anything that looks like. We just don't. Usually, we don't wear anything. We don't wear. We have some fancy clothes that's like really meant for like very very rare occasions, but we don't even wear that when we go to rare occasions. We just try to fit in. So there's been chances to buy a bunch of these fake purses or ones they claim that's real at like 5,000 6,000 pesos. And George is like, "Oh, well, you ought to get one just once." I'm like, "Where?" And carry it where here in Angel City? It's like, they may recognize just the bag and be like scanning and then just see it. And you don't want somebody trying to snatch it off of you. So it's, you just can't showcase. And the ones like I've been seeing where the people have built the houses and then they show internally afterwards all the nice stuff they have in it and talk about locations and cities they're in. And it's just like, you just can't. We've already put enough stuff out for sure. So, but we try to be, yeah. Aircon in one room based on my budget plus solar and generators to keep going. And this was at the province. Actually went to the mall just to cool off. I told George that's a minimal I'm going to deal with. But this month we've had several brownouts, and one was 12 hours. And we bought these oversized battery packs where we at least had the internet turned back on. and we have some solar lights that are here, and we do okay. And we have one additional new fan. It was like only like $5, and it's really nice, and it uses little to no electricity, so we can run 12 hours on the battery pack and have like our tablets charged and our phones. But anything beyond, well, I wrong. It was about 10 hours, not 12. The brownout was 12, and I lasted like 2 hours before, and I had to go to my small battery packs. I would like to have solar, but without getting a house or setting it up, being as we're in ones that are attached with other houses, would be really hard. And right now, I just don't think it's worth the investment. But need that air conditioning. Yeah, the breeze lately will help. I'm just going to skip through some of these. I once owned Opso. She was a killer dog, major attitude. My husky was the best dog ever. I like dogs. I mean, I'm a cat person. George is more of the cat person. He truly is. A lot of people call me the cat lady, but George brings them home. If they're sick or have really serious problems, like the last one was blind, but the one up the street with the bad foot, we've already rehomed. So we kept her for a couple months. Somebody says they wanted a pet. That's what we do with them, and we fixed her foot. We kept her around. She appeared to be want to be more outside. We had already, if I didn't mention, we had her fixed too, so she wasn't able to have babies. But we get them vaccinated, take care of them slowly and that's where a lot of our YouTube money goes. And a lot of people that are new to the channel don't know that we actually spend our money goes right back into apps because we pay for quite a few of the apps. StreamYard, we pay for the paid version of StreamYard, and we give back to the pet shelter. Noah's Ark Pet Shelter is like the best shelter out there. And she does so much work. She goes on a daily basis and helps these animals and has a bunch of animals she takes care of. So we support them with a percentage of our money. And also, we take care of the strays outside that are wandering the neighborhood, probably just the neighbor's cats that we're feeding. And that's what we do. That's always been that. We just stop mentioning all the time. That's where our money goes to. It's a few hundred a month. Our indoor cats and food and supplies and medicine, flea oils, and all that is quite a bit. I'd probably say we're over 5,000 pesos, 6,000 pesos a month just to buy all these things. And so our money just goes right back into the animals. So, but we like the dogs and we like the cats, and George keeps rescuing. But I said we had to stop. We're down to three, and like the originals, and now with the puppy, she's full time. And then we, our time together, our godchildren that we spend time together. And there's a new one coming in July. We're excited about. So we like when the new little grandkids come along. So Gilbert says, yes, she is a Shanice. Okay, that would explain the black around the face. See, George is not. He may not. Probably whoever he bought that from told him that. But George is like, I don't know if he's hard of hearing or he already knew that, and just I can't get nothing out of George half the time. Oh, hey, good morning, Streak. Quezon City has 18,500 condos for sale. Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. Yeah, maintenance fees on condos is a no-go. Yeah. Okay, so you've been paying 600 US dollars a month here in Las Piñas. At the end of January, I'll be happy to move to new property. And that's just it. I mean, 30,000 pesos is still a lot of rent, in my opinion. A lot of people like, oh, well, you just don't want to pay because you're cheap or you're broke and all that. And both me and George look at each other. He's Filipino. George does not have to pay 30,000 pesos because it doesn't always equate to what people think. As far as, are there some nice places for that? Yes. But I've also seen places that are broke down, in my opinion, for that money. And then me and George both are thinkers. We calculate everything, the area, what the place looks like, what needs to be done to, move in or upkeep and all of that. And that's for me. I'm gonna do fine just right now in my junkyard. I'm just gonna stay here in my Sanford and Son setup, and I'm gonna pay that rent. I'm just gonna get it. I got my AC. That's all that matters. And I got my Shanice. Hey, maybe I should name her Shanae. Call her Shanice Shanae. Yes, we do hope your dad's doing well. Any updates? Yeah, probably. There's Verbo. I've never tried that one. With awesome wave pool for 3,000 a day, but of course it's cheaper if you do it monthly. Yeah, yeah, because that would be 90,000 a month, and I could not see that. That's like 1,500. I can't see paying that, man. I could see 1,500 bucks even. I can't see it. It's if it was, I don't know. I picture other places that have better infrastructure that doesn't go down here in Southeast Asia, in cleaner areas, and where they have all the infrastructure, the trash, all these things under a better situation. And I can see at that point maybe paying that price in a beach house or something. But to pay out that in an area, I can't. That must, like I said, you'd have to live inside where everything is super nice, and I can't even see it at 90,000 pesos nice. Maybe by the month. Yes, rent to own would be a. Dara said, honestly, I thought if you have a Filipina by your side, business or Pinoys won't take advantage of foreigners, but old dog situation, I feel bad. They did him bad, and lovely baby May wasn't any help. Well, yeah, and baby May just seems super quiet. Like George seems super quiet, but he's a partial pit bull sometimes. But most of the time, George stays quiet on those situations. So anytime something like that's happening, he usually stays quiet. And then I have to go back to, and he's probably going to cringe on this, the grab driver. For those that know us, they knew why we took front on that. And I wasn't even involved till I got the camera out. But the driver was going to drop our food off. This happened a few months ago, and the driver was going to take it somewhere else. Then he wouldn't answer the phone, wouldn't talk to us. It wasn't because he was on the road. He started giving us a hard time before he even arrived. Situation. And then in the end, when he arrived here, he thought George was just an OFW or born in America because of his accent. So immediately they were having a confrontation outside, and he wouldn't give George the food; it was paid for. And he was arguing that you guys gave me the wrong address. We checked it, and we did pay for the priority delivery. Someone tried to say we paid for the cheap one. That's why we got it so late. But it took the guy almost an hour to get the food. And usually we've had deliveries from the same area, the same setup. But he kept trying to get us to go up on MacArthur Highway and get our stuff. And we're like, dude, we're just around the corner. And so we got nothing but a hard time. By the time he got here, George lost it. That was it. And it wasn't even me. I'm gonna say I'm gonna turn my pit bull loose. And he had said that George was acting snotty, and they went through this whole thing back and forth. And the guy kept the food in the back, and he says, "Just give me my food." And George is like having it out with him, and he was just leaning against the back of the thing and wasn't giving the food. And I thought George was going to knock him out. And I'm like, "Them's your people. Go ahead," because as an expat, I can't. It's an automatic deportation if I go punching people in the face. I'm telling you. But I was in here not saying nothing. They, in the end, there were other channels trying to say I was out there instigating or I was out there and involved. No, George said, "Get the camera," and he made me come out. I was sitting in the house minding my business. And at that point, we had discussed there was a chance that we would have to go ahead and reorder because the money was already tied up on the credit card. So that's why I was saying in the end, yes, we did buy, I think it was close to 1,400 pesos worth of stuff. So then in the end, if I'd had to reorder it, waiting for a refund for a couple of days on the money, because we were just going to let them go. So that in the end, we got the food, but it would have tied up, okay, in the end, about $50 worth of food, for reordering if we had to. And Georgia just wasn't going to have that. And so as far as sticking up, it's really hard to do, and building a house is really tougher than people have let on. And if you don't stay there and watch them, and I feel bad that he's going through this hard time also. It's somewhat good for him because it's giving him some additional content. I mean, we're both content creators, so I know how that might be helping. It's You're always looking for new ideals and all that, but he didn't do it on purpose. So now he can let people know what happens, and if it even helps one person to know that, then we've done our job. So, cray cray. Hey, what's going on, Masai and Kano? Philippines is really doable for people that aren't stuck on themselves. You can get everything you had at a 10 to 20% of what you were living in the US, probably even, yeah, probably even more. It's certainly not for everyone, but you can do it. Yeah, there's a, for me, when I look at items like that we get for like the dog or food, there's going to be a smaller discount. Food to me was way more. We lived for half the amount in Mexico. And when we got here, after living 6 months in Mexico and then got here, we started paying, double that we weren't. I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. And so there's definitely a big savings on like cell phones, um, dog stuff that we're getting for her. And now some of the vet bills can be high, and the vaccines we're paying US prices for. I don't know why those are so expensive. And in the US, I could get farm vaccines. Like I can order from a farm catalog and do them myself. Here, you can't. I can't find them anywhere. Maybe somebody else knows about that, but I have to pay them. Like we just, I think we paid out $20 for. I knew they do the free rabies, but it was $20 for the cat vaccine yesterday. So it just depends. Some of the costs are a small percentage, but they're slowly going up. Though that's the crazy part. So I was looking at stuff to put in the gift bags that we're giving away at Christmas time, and some of the little like lollipop things that are in the shape of Christmas trees and everything. It was like 390 pesos, and then when I started calculating that, I was like, "Wait a minute! Some people make less than 1,000 pesos a day." I said that's crazy. That's like if you made $100 in the U.S. and then you're giving up 60 of it to buy the what's it called? You kind of have to take it in the same. So I'm really getting stuck in that mentality. Yeah. Okay. Well, seems like a hassle. What it is, sir, that just left a comment that dealing with us is a hassle and a problem. You, whatever that actually means, that means you can't deal. So I'm gonna call you out and say the truth hurts, or I must have bid on something because what do you mean? There's You have where I've done content, George has done content, or something. You just can't deal. Maybe you like to go sit at the Filipina Peas channel. Maybe you want to go on to Maya's channel and sit over there and watch that. Maybe it's your speed to go over there and sit on one of those channels where the girls dance all day for about 7 hours. Maybe they're cooking and showering. What is your speed, sir? But this channel has been what it is what it is, and it's just going to be that way. So evidently you got issues. Let's go, Trump. Besides, are you talking about the guys up there having the argument or me and George? Yeah, probably just came in just a little bit ago. George is at a funeral. So, and we're slowing down on the channel. We're not going to be posting all the time. We already went from daily videos to multiple live streams a week down to 3 live streams, 4 live streams a week, and it's still consuming George's time mostly. He does have another job and has for quite some time. He also has a gaming channel, so you can only imagine a job and a gaming channel, and then he fills in here. So it's been really rough, like trying to do everything, and I can't. I can do these live streams, but in reality, it is still his channel. So I've always done expat help videos in Mexico. He would do in like beings he was vaccinated in Mexico. He was allowed to go outside and record. with my autoimmune issue, I never did get vaccinated. I came into the country pre the requirement. And so that's probably what's wrong with Georgia now. It might be why you don't fall down the stairs being vaccinated. But no, we're just you're going to see us do the food videos like we just did, which we enjoy. We're going to do what we enjoy, and when the money comes in, we put it right into the pet shelter. We put it right into the pets, and we pay for our apps. We're not some months we're not even close to breaking even. Sometimes we go in the negative, giving and paying the vet bills and taking care of the pets outside and all that. So we're just trying to stick with the core people, help people, let you guys know what's going on, few jokes, having fun. We's gonna do us. I'm gonna answer a few more. I really need to wrap this up. Heidi, lots of Filipinos will fall in love with you if you just go out there. Of course, George is still around, so no. I don't know. I just can't see it. I mean, I know there are upper, class older men, and it is a possibility, but I mean, I don't know. I just couldn't see it anyways. It's just one, I'm a homebody and never denied that. I enjoy movies, game nights and all of that. So I would have to find somebody that likes to go out here and there. I'm not a spring chicken, so I'm not going to hit the clubs and I'm not going to travel a bunch because of health issues. And so it happens in the older years. That is for sure. So, all right. Is Ted, did you fall asleep? What happened? Did I miss something? Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. We'll hit 20,000 before New Year's. And it only took 4 years and a lot of production of videos. And we're proud of it. It's still a small percentage. But where we become golden is our YouTube manager for the last 2 years and the Google invites. Nobody has that. I don't care. The Filipina P can't say that. All these other channels, and I know it's bragging, but we are proud of that. And if our pride bothers people, it probably does. Then that's one thing that we have that they don't have. You can't put money on that. So we're really excited about the 20,000 and our core supporters, and we're really excited about the next Google event. We'll be chilling over the holidays. Real quick, I think it would shock everyone there does not know what happened and who did it to Elliott. Yay, 20,000. Not sure. Anyone that talks crap about you getting benefits wishes they had that deal. It's not like you aren't paying for, yeah, faking an illness. No. And here's another thing. This is also going to butt hurt some people. There is word out there that a lot of the guys that are, and I'm not saying all and not a ton. What I'm saying is that um, I'm not going to go into it. I'm not even going to go there because I'm not going to talk bad of the military people because it's not really bad, but there are more likely to be people faking benefits for military here than there's a lot of them that got pension, got their disabilities based on other things. And so I think that's a core group of some of them that have, fallen through the cracks, but most have been honest and reported properly, and they're getting them legally. So mine, I cannot get past, and so no, it's I'm not going to be made to feel bad because I'm over here in the islands or something on my money instead of sitting over there, and barely getting by because I was, dealt a weird hand in life and used up my pensions, and that we were just regular middle class people in the US before we actually decided to not stick through the pandemic because it was just at the height when we left to Mexico. and it's the best thing we ever did. So I don't think we'll be able to. Real quick, hi, I believe you said that earlier there, Bruce. Probably just in there saying hi to people. Sorry for George's uncle passing away. Huh. Heidi, I wanted to raise your own turkey. You can sell the others if you raise more than one. Actually, we have a new cage. We got one for the dog, but we had a cage. I told George we could put some rabbits in it out there. But people do keep chickens around here. At SNR, they had a head of lettuce like 10 US dollars from Australia. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like we understand that the store is there for like the rich, but like for real, we were saying the turkeys are like 4 times the cost of the US, 3 times the cost. And no, it is a real deal. Some of the prices are shocking in the regular markets. And so it is better to go in and get it at the local market. And we have a market here once a week. We don't hide that. And the market that's here, every time we go out and get a few like vegetables, and like when I made like a beef stew situation, it still cost me, and I imagine it's more expensive in the US. By the time I got the meat and the vegetables, I was telling you guys it was like 22, $23, like potatoes, carrots, where I make like a pot that lasts, you eat the dinner and then you're able to eat leftovers for a few days. It's still, to me, that is shocking to spend that kind of money to here. I just really got into the actual cost. Every time I hear the gate, I think it's George coming in, but I don't. He would not be back already. He just left. I think at like 7:30. Hey, good morning, Ruby and George. I'll put this up for you again for those that just came in. George, actually, we were talking about earlier. I ran through some stories. If you guys want to go back and watch, George went to a funeral. That's the uncle. Um, that is okay. That's the one that was in the hospital, and he's on his way um, to a funeral of his other uncle. So that passed. So he had found out on the 8th, and so he went there, and I've told you guys that I'm just not into that. So I'm not gathering in the car full of people. I very easily get sick from other people, and I'm not saying they got germs. And it was going to be a long car trip, and it makes me sicker by the time I get home. It's hard to rest from that, and I cannot say when he's going to come home. So I will not state that for multiple reasons. And so, because of that, somebody has to take care of the pets. Little puppy Doo can't be left alone. And so, there's multiple reasons, but he is um, currently out of town. So, yeah. But as far as him leaving, we made the announcement that we probably up to New Year's, which is during the next 2 weeks, we will probably substantially slow down on the live stream. So I know we are scheduling Christmas Eve. It's on a Tuesday. I just talked his schedule because George has a full time job, and he also does some animation, and he does run a gaming channel that he is very successful at. And so, because of that increasing majorly since our last Google visit just recently, we really, it's just hard to do a lot of stuff right now. So, I saying that we're going to do some out and about videos. He's going to do some, we're just going to be fitting the live streams in between. And I don't want people to feel that we're not, coming in, so you'll probably see me. You'll see us both together in live streams. In other words, it'll just, just be a different schedule. But he'll be back. So my guess is in another. Well, no, Christmas is 11 days away. So we'll see. You're gonna see me and him, and so we're just gonna fit him in. Ruby. Ted and GNH have me Facebook on friends. George has email address as well, so I'm not sure where that came. Yeah, I mean, it's always been there. We've never hid our email. We've been helping people forever. We as long as everybody's cool and we don't have trolls coming in, we let them in on our messenger. We get a percentage a day that you accept. You look at the account, you think it's okay, and then it's a girl that's trying to get you to go to one of them, SEX sites. And then we get a large percentage that come in and tell us about, have you heard about blah, blah letter and this something, something. And then we knew that was a scam. And we get those on a daily basis. And so we immediately block them. Or if somebody just comes in and says something stupid, and it's like, you took all that time to create an account to come in and call me ugly or George ugly, those accounts don't exist, right? So we do answer people through Messenger, and we do priority for members. We send out information first through members and then through Messenger. We answer emails. Takes a little bit to get to them, and we've always had our email in there. So our email's always been in the end for the last, 4.5 years. So just going to Uh, yeah, Heidi, she just looked it up, and Pekingese and Shih Tzu, and yes, Mary could be. I think so. And maybe that explains. I'm going to look when I get off the live here in a few minutes, because my guess is her body even looks different. She's getting fat. Now, I will admit, being as they said she was still a puppy, that I should be feeding her. Like, I weigh out her, like I measure, weigh out her food. I have a cup, and I divide it 3 times a day. But then she gets a few snacks, and then the one cat beings it's an apple, lamb, and chicken, I think, food, and it's high protein. The cat, the youngest one, Tweety, the blind one, she eats her food. So then I see that she eats her food now. So then I put a little bit more in there, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's eating? And so she seems to be short and stubby. That's what's wrong with her. I'm staring at her now. I wish I could take a photo. She's really cute when she's sleeping. I will. But that's something else I'm going to do while George is working and I'm not online. Is I can work on dropping a video or two on Mary's channel. We list our other channels. We're not going to list the gaming channel. We're keeping that anonymous for multiple reasons. And you probably wouldn't even know it was him anyways. Let's just say it's one of those special channels under animation. So for the gaming. And so, it's kind of one of the, that's something up and coming in the YouTube world, is the anonymous channels where you don't know who they are. It's done by AI characters. And so George is in a experimental um, thing going on right now. So but let's see, I'm looking at the other one, and I'm going to be working on the sound channel too. So because it's we like doing the music, I like doing the music, and so uh, yeah, spend more time with her and everything. Yeah, I don't know anything about the World Series. No, YouTube is work. I've seen a bunch of people start up channels, and really, honestly, a big percentage it does not work. And if you start to grab numbers, you only have a short period. You've got like a year or something. They'll throw you. Like I seen a channel the other day that I didn't think would make it. It was an expat channel. And at first he had 13, 15, 14 views. And all of a sudden one video he got 2,000 on, and he got lucky because he used certain titles that were definitely clickbait, and he repeated other stuff which they tell you to do also, but then all of a sudden he's getting 400, 500, 400, 500, and that's only because the algorithm is favoring him because it's a brand new channel. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's good content. It doesn't mean it's bad content. And a lot of times there's not even a lot of editing. It's just basically recorded and uploaded. And I think that's where old dog got lucky, because it seems like and it really is that way. He literally records, uploads, and is there some effort? Yes, because he's always doing it. He's about the effort. Like that's a workhorse too, just like Sunshine Shoulders. He does almost a live every day. He does 3 or 4 lives a week, and he uploads a video every day, if not 2. That's a workhorse, man. That is total effort. It doesn't matter, but it still takes work, and it's definitely to be commended to the people that do it. Um, Second Wind says he was never a cat person because the allergies, but my wife wants one. I really like cats now. I think I am suffering from some sort of allergies. I already have asthma and other things, but I just like deal. right now, so I take an allergy pill every day. So, what happened to George? Why did he get rabies shot? So you've seen that. He did that because his brother's a doctor. We haven't hid that, and his brother, being he's always picking the cats up, he's afraid he's going to get bit. And the same with the walk around. It's a real thing. People do pass away from it. It is very, very serious. And George is always picking up strays outside. I do. This yellow cat that's new in the neighborhood, he's huge. Every time the door goes open, he comes in the house now. He literally comes in and he walks through and he heads for the food bowls. If you don't feed the cats outside, which that's kind of our fault, but they just pick through scraps and a lot of them are going hungry and they're sick. So we started a long time ago feeding strays outside. Some people hate it, some people love it, but they're going to be outside anyways. They're just going to be out there. And his brother and his family wanted him to get that. I had nothing to do with it. So he went through that series where he actually had it done. It's because of the strays he keeps picking up. And right now I've put a, hey, please do not pick up anymore because we're down to, right now we have to put off picking him up. So I miss George already. He will be back, just not as many for till we're just going to be spending a lot of time at holiday get-togethers and dealing with other parts of things going on in our life. And so, but no, he'll be back. Yeah, I'll get photos and videos, and there'll be videos up and coming, guys. It's you know, yeah, that's what's going on there. Woody likes. You would have to come in on the beginning on that one. Saw your calico last night in the stream. Looks like mine. Very pretty. Didn't know you took care of so many. Thank you for doing both. Um, we have two. Bella is living somewhere else now. That's my favorite cat, but she wasn't getting along with the dog. So ever since the dog came, she's the big fat one we've had the longest. She freaked out over the dog, and unfortunately, with people that we know that are wanting pets, and she's mellow by herself, I kind of sacrificed for my Christmas present her. But we do have the two calicos, and the one just got fixed. So that's probably the one you've seen go by in the stream. That's the blind one. She's blind in one eye. We call her Tweety, but call her Rabbit at the same time. So, no, George is good. Oh, let me bring this down. I've left this up. Right. So, Heidi and George, why do you want to do less? And are you trying to get other channels monetized? We do have other channels monetized. It's not that we're trying. So, we have three listed under AdSense right now. So, mm, so do other channels. So it's the thing to do if you guys are seriously into it. Then that's what you do. Um, Weirdly, they said you can have up to, I don't know, was it 10,000 AdSense and ad accounts with Google. I'm like, who has 10,000 channels? And the reason being is managers can manage your channel and come in and they can add them to their main account that they're doing. And so there is a way to set up. That's why they would go that many of them. But because it's the money does never match the amount of things that we're doing. And it does take, when we set up even three lives a week, both of us are up a couple hours before. So that means we're up, getting information, prepping for it. And some people are like, oh, it doesn't take that long, but it does. We go in and, we're setting up what we have here going on. There's a lot behind the scenes of actually doing the channel. And the, I don't know, the money doesn't match it, Bruce. Why? I mean, why? Because our highest check since we've been monetized for 2 years is $400, and that is a serious month. Actually, I think one of our biggest months was Mark Thornton, and it doesn't always happen like that. Nor do we want to sit around and do that. If the stories come up because expats did something, then we're going to cover it or talk about it. But usually, we're doing some sort of expat help or joking around or something else. So because we want to spend time together doing Christmas. We're just saying that George is working, so George cannot work and do his gaming channel and do full time on Philippine Antics. So we're just saying that this channel, the other one is monetized too. So even if he did not have the gaming channel, then it would still be that the Philippine Antics one is, believe it or not, one of our smaller channels. So that's why. So it's just we love Philippine Antics. It's not being swept away. It's just right now. I'm just saying right now through Christmas, it'll probably be one or two live streams a week. I don't know. We haven't figured that out. We just know that we have a lot going on. We mentioned that before all of this. We mentioned a month or two ago that through the holidays we would probably be doing less in December. And there was, I think about 2 years ago, we just took a total break. Remember, we disappeared for almost 30 days. We came in and I think we did one or two videos, but we did that to get a break. So there is burnout. We could be at a stage of burnout. That I said that earlier. So there's just a lot going on. He truly went off to this funeral, so I just was not. I'm gonna sit here and have a pizza funeral today. Story. So, dun, 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 dun. All right, guys. I think I'm just gonna blow through these and start saying my goodbyes. I never checked my YouTube email, so I apologize. Yes, here for Christmas, and daughter's wedding is in mid-January. Long break, 3 months. Woo, that is actually awesome. That's something else. We still need to set something up if you're still in the house, Ruby. It's just been kind of crazy. So you're still here. We just need to come up to Candy Palace 100%. All right, guys, we are going to wrap this up. I'm just going to say my goodbyes, and I'll get some footage of George, up in that funeral, drinking and dancing and all of that. We appreciate everybody's well wishes on that. That's what I was going to announce the other day, but he wouldn't let me do it. And so he keeps a lot of that side of the family private. That's about the most private thing that we actually do. Thank you to all of our members and those that have been supporting us. We will hit that 20,000 before January. I have a lot of confidence on that one. And we do appreciate everybody. We really, really do. And actually, when I think about George doing the gaming channel, it's what he enjoys. And we enjoy this. Don't get me wrong. It's it's become like the music and the gaming are just things that we've really fallen into. And I really think the expat genre is really just overflooded right now. So it's really, really overflooded. And so um, I think for Christmas, we're just going to chill and just come back on a different level of what content we're going to put out. So people go through changes on the channels, and that's what this is. So probably our original stuff, more out and about, more expat, and we just have to see. But thank you guys for joining, and take care, and we will talk to you later. Bye, guys.